Something about you is soft like an angel, and something inside you is...
Alright kids, I'm back, and this time I'm surprisingly not reviewing a hip-hop album. Aww. Hey, don't give me that face. I'll be damned if I listen to another NBA Youngboy project. Trash! But aside from that, for today's review we're going to be taking a look at the Norwegian singer Aurora's latest project, The Gods We Can Touch, being this electronic to ambient and synth-heavy pop album that, while still carries the same elements that I've heard before from other artists and genres, it still makes for a fun album to listen to nonetheless. Okay, so when listening to this project, I can say that it's executed very well in a lot of places, including the singing from Aurora herself. The mixing and the instrumentals are well done as well, really helping to give that dramatic feel towards this project, such as with the initial tracks of Forbidden Fruits of Eden and Everything Matters being what seems like a love song mixed with this deep bass and piano. And as I progress, I do appreciate how this album does stay within this theme and sound, and I don't really get too bored nor turn away from this project like how I usually do with most other pop albums. Each track kind of has its own flair to really keep me entertained, even with the more mainstreamy type of tracks such as Giving Into the Love or Blood in the Wine. But at the same time, as stated before, I do hear a mix of similar themes that I've heard before from other artists and genres, such as with the track Blood in the Wine, going for this pop country rock sound that's been fairly popular within the country scene today, or Cure for Me being this poppy, fun, dancing track that can feel really commercially at first, but doesn't deter from it being a pretty nice song to listen to nonetheless. But that doesn't also deter from a pretty solid execution from Aurora, with her singing with this sad and drag tone for these lyrics about love, hope, and religion that can seem like a series of stories being told by the singer. But as for the production, I already said before that it was pretty good, while at the same time not separating itself too much from the rest of the pop scene to try and get that appeal and not scare anyone away. There are some very fun tracks on here, such as The Innocent and Cure for Me, that have caught my attention on the first listen, no doubt, and then there are others that switch from that dancey and high energy tone to this more dramatic and serious tone to really complement Aurora's vocals to its highest caliber, such as on the track Heathens and A Dangerous Thing and Exhale Inhale. And another thing I would like to acknowledge is with the mixing and the ability to really utilize her voice, with her seeming both like she's singing and part of the instrumentals themselves, making for a great listening experience. And although there aren't any features on this project, I feel like it wasn't necessary because of how well she did by herself, with it seeming like only a feature would hold her back or wouldn't carry the same feel that she has through these 15 tracks. But overall, this album was very fun to listen to and seemed like something that would definitely stay in my rotation. While it isn't perfect, it still sits high enough on a pedestal for me to enjoy far beyond this album's release. So to put this on a scale, I'm giving this a strong 8 out of 10, being a solid listen from beginning to end, and one of my favorite projects of this year so far. But how do you guys feel about Aurora's latest album? What would you rate it? Let me know down in the comments while liking and subscribing. Make sure to follow my IG and Twitter. And if you like the illustrations used in this video, make sure to follow the artist as well because she's dope. And oh yeah, make sure to follow my second channel for me outside of music. And on that note, I'll see you on Monday for whatever video I decide to upload. Peace.
Mary Jane.
Yo, what the fuck?